Hi, everybody. We are very pleased to be here with you today. And well, I'm putting my glasses so I can read the title. We're going to discuss, and even more than that, we're going to demonstrate you, as an ISV, potential ISV partner, will be able to move your ID onto the AppExchange. And to do this,
we will begin. I will say, halfway through this, we're going to do a live demo, so please keep your fingers crossed that the internet holds up and the demo gods are smiling, because I'd very much like this demo to go really well. So before we get started, let me introduce you to Mark Custer. So Mark, as you may have known, is based in the south of France. He's got a wonderful French accent. It's very charming. Mark drinks rosé wine and takes long strolls by the beach. Probably don't need that level of information. Mark is also the director of AppExchange in EMEA for the technical enablement part of the business. And what's really important about Mark is he's my boss. So I'd like all the good feedback to go to Mark at the end, because I'd really like that promotion.
OK, thank you. So Kevin is a very awesome technical evangelist that is working for me, as he mentioned. He's based in the UK, so I think I'm not the only one having a very strange accent today. So I'm very pleased with this. And without waiting, why don't we just move on, please, Kevin?
OK, let's get started. What's the this is our favorite slide. I'm sure you've seen this like 100 times already. If you haven't, you've been under a rock for the last 2 days. We're not going to make forward-looking statements in our presentation today, are we, Mark?
I don't think so.
OK, that's good. But if we do, if we let something slip, just remember that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, and all purchasing decisions should be made on what's generally available today. So we're covered.
Yes, we are.
Good?
Let's
move
move
on.
on.
The agenda.
So yeah, the agenda is all about you. You as a partner. What's the AppExchange for you? What are we going to bring you? What kind of application can you build with us? And as we said, then we will show you a complete set of key tools that will enable you to move your ID into the AppExchange. And then we'll end up with a Q&A session that we may have to finish outside, because the timing is crucial and because we both love to talk a lot. So we don't know if we're going to be able to make it on time. So next one is the introduction to the AppExchange. So before I discuss what is the AppExchange, I would like to discuss why the AppExchange. So Salesforce has been working with partners during the last 10 years. And we realized that for our partners to be successful, they need 3 key things. The first one is they need a trusted platform. For you to run your cloud business, you need to have a more secure, you need to have a highly available, and you need to be able to scale faster than any company can do on their own. And that's why Salesforce Trusted Platform is able to provide you all this. And that's why we have so many ISV partners joining our program. Because what they can do, and also customers, so to speak, because what you can do is you can really bet your business on our platform. The second item is single system of engagement. As a partner, you are able to extend or enhance our Salesforce functionalities so that customers will be able to have access to everything from a unique environment so that their experiences would be seamless and very easy for them. So that is a very important point. The third one is innovation. Salesforce is a very innovative company, and we provide 3 times a year new releases. And you, as a partner, you can leverage that innovation every day. And also with seamless upgrades, you will be able to deliver your own innovation to your customers, and they will be able to leverage it as soon as you deliver that to them.
And I guess this is super important to understand why Salesforce built and has now the world's #1 enterprise solutions marketplace. And in case you missed the key points, and I'll translate Mark's for English, Trusted Cloud Platform gives you a single platform that's scalable and secure. We've got the system of engagement, that one integrated experience. And finally, those 3 releases. 3 releases every year, spring, summer, and winter. I don't know if you know, but we once had a fall, but it seems to have fallen away. Oh, come on. Come on. OK, so now that one just sunk. Let's take a look at AppExchange. We know why Salesforce created AppExchange. Let's take a look at what AppExchange is. it's a very quick and easy place. It's a marketplace for customers to quickly and easily find apps that can enhance their Salesforce capabilities, that really drive and deliver that digital experience, and really help those customers capitalize on their Salesforce investment. In fact, as you can see here, 86% of our enterprise customers have installed at least one app from AppExchange. And that is built on a foundation of trust. And as you know, trust is the #1 Salesforce value. You've probably seen this throughout Dreamforce. And that's trust from our customers, trust from our partners, trust from all of our stakeholders. And we expect that our partners joining the AppExchange align with that value of trust. So every application is subject to a thorough and rigorous security review. So we're making sure that we approve that application can be installed inside those customers' orgs. And it's not just us at Salesforce who give that stamp of approval. It's also our customers. And they do that via the feedback and rating system within AppExchange. So every single listing has an open feedback system to provide honest critique, honest feedback about that application, and also provide a star rating. So it's critical that when designing these apps, you're thinking about that engaging single user experience, driving towards that 5-star rating that everybody so wants. And I don't know if you saw Woodson Martin's keynote yesterday, we surpassed the 7 million installs from AppExchange to date, which is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Okay, good. So the marketplace is the way to go, but in order to achieve the marketplace, we have the AppExchange Partner Program. Can we move to the next slide?
Sorry. I was totally caught off drinking there.
Yeah. So this slide is all about 3 big elements: customers, technology, and resources. Okay? We provide you access to our customer to the marketplace. And as Kevin was mentioning, the listing is the way to differentiate, is the way to attract customers. The technology, this is our trusted platform used by everybody that, let's say, give you the possibility to create application, and those applications can really exceed our customer expectation because they are typically the same technology that they use. So that's a very important point. And access to resources, this is a program that is made of 10 years of experience where we're going to provide you the right information at the right time so that you can be successful in this ecosystem.
So again, you know, this program has been built around their needs, about listening to the feedback of our ISVs and tailoring the program to suit the customer needs and the partner needs. And again, if you saw Woodson's keynote yesterday, Woodson Martin joined AppExchange as the EVP 9 months ago, and his keynote talked a lot about the new version of the AppExchange Partner Program. And it was focused around 2 values, around inclusion, so inclusion of all partners and inclusion of more technology within inside the partner program. So you as ISVs get access to all of the core platform, the core products, but also now access to Einstein Analytics licenses or technology like Platform Cache for free. And you can distribute that into your customers' orgs. And the second thread of this keynote was around truly succeeding together. So taking a look at the revenue share model and really thinking about how we succeed when you succeed and rewarding all partners for their growth. So just to recap on Mark's points, access to customers, over 150,000 customers, 100 locations, over 100 countries. Access to technology, that unrivaled platform. In Mark's keynote yesterday, Brett Taylor got up on stage and talked a lot about the Salesforce products and the services that are attached to the core platform. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, voice, vision, blockchain. All of these services and capabilities opened up to you, the partners, to use and develop on for free, and then you only incur cost when that's sold to a customer. And then finally, access to resources. This great plethora of available documentation of how to sell like Salesforce, how to create the perfect listing, how to create great marketing programs. And again, businesses have been built on AppExchange that are now seeing massive success and growth.
Perfect.
So let's take a look at some of the types of apps that our amazing ISVs are building. So there's 3 categories here, and let's start with extending the Salesforce org. So this is really focused on installing apps on top of existing Salesforce products. So this may be sales, service, financial services. But these packages, these apps are meant to enhance that Salesforce capability and really allow that customer to capitalize on their investment with Salesforce. Then let's move into the Salesforce white space. So we traditionally have sold to 25% of the user base within inside an organization. Those front office users, sales and service have been those key target users. We're making more progress with commerce, B2B, B2C, and looking at the back office, but really that leaves a massive opportunity for you all partners to sell into that remaining 75%. So not only extending the core Salesforce capabilities, but selling and building apps that extend beyond those users. And then finally, industries. You may have noticed in the last couple of years that Salesforce has a huge focus on industries, okay? And we need your industry expertise to deliver these exceptional solutions that can really exceed even the most sophisticated customer expectations. But Mark, let's talk through some of these logos, should we?
Yes, for sure. So we're just going to give you some kind of like successful partners. So NC Square, they are providing advanced lead distribution. Pitcher, which is providing mobile solution for field salespeople, but also for industries. This is also to let you know that you don't need to actually fit into one pillar. You can be everywhere. There is no limits to that. Bullhorn, that is providing a suite of HR application. Copado, that is providing release management and DevOps solutions. Amadeus has a couple of applications because they are targeting the travel, transport, and hospitality industry. And Finastra is delivering a banking solution on top of financial service cloud industries. So that's a couple of good examples, and we wish you the same success. So those partners, they all build their application on their own way, with their own path, and we're more than happy to have that. You may be starting your application by just leveraging our API, and that's okay, as I said. Or maybe you want to build your application completely and natively on our platform, and that, again, is something we can help you with, or, which is the majority of our partner, something that is in between. And most of our partners are starting this as a journey, and they may end up somewhere, and we don't know where, but we're just like supporting you in that journey.
Okay, so we're saying here you can start anywhere from just leveraging the Salesforce APIs to building really integrated native applications. So one big philosophical question.
Yes.
Why is Einstein flying a plane?
Einstein is flying the plane because he's in charge of distributing our applications.
That was a predictable transition. Predictable,
yes.
Get it? Sounds fun. Oh, yeah. Come on, it was better than the last one. Thank you. Thank you. I'll pay you later. Okay, so
I need your name.
with this in mind, there's lots of different types of things that you can distribute and build with AppExchange. So let's cover a couple that people may not know about. So I'm going to use my trusted assistant here. He's going to translate for me. He's going to tell me about these great things here. So let's start with an app. Mark, what's an app?
Well, an app is an app. I think that's pretty standard definition nowadays.
Okay, super. Move on. Bolt solutions. This is a tougher one, Mark. What is a bolt solution?
Well, a bolt solution is a bolt solution, but I believe you prefer me to explain that it's a pre-built template for communities.
Okay.
Did that work?
I mean, that's better than the first one.
Yeah.
So last
Thank
one.
you.
This is a tough one. What is a flow solution? Wait, is a flow solution a flow solution?
No, absolutely not. A flow solution is a flow solution that is made of business processes, made of building blocks coming from the platform. That's a kind of like very interesting way now to build applications, because this is no more an app, so to speak. This is really, you have an expertise on your domain, and you're just delivering that to a business process.
Thank you. Much better. So, Einstein's still flying the plane.
Yes.
He hasn't landed yet, but surely he's going to land on our demo journey.
I think now he's landed. It's sitting next to Astro, so finally he's doing his stuff. So we said we would demonstrate, and we will,
try.
Hopefully. Before we demonstrate, this is a long journey, so I just want you to pay attention to what we do, because this is what you're going to have to do through the entire life cycle of the ISV relationship. So we're going to show you how to join the partner AppExchange. Then we show you how to build your package with DX, which is the second generation of packaging, if you heard about that. And if not, you will learn. Then we will show you how to create your listing on the AppExchange so that after that, customers can install your packages. And you will be able to get access to those leads, but also you will be able to control all your licensing from what we named the partner business org. We'll come back into this. And I think if that is OK with you.
I will drive once I find the
great.
steps of the demo so we get it absolutely right. So what we're going to do first of all, Mark?
I don't know, but I guess you should move to joining the partner community.
OK, so we do that at joinappexchange.com?
Joinappexchange.com, yes. And once we're there, it may be a bit hidden, but there is a join now somewhere.
Yeah,
you see it?
Let's do the one here next to become a partner.
Yeah. So scroll down, click on this one, and then this is how you start by clicking on Join the Partner Community. Okay? We're not going to demonstrate that because, first of all, it takes a couple of minutes to get your login. But what is quite interesting is once you join the partner community, we are providing you a set of environments so that you can start to run your businesses. And one of the most important one is what we named the PBO, the Partner Business Org. This is a free org with 2 licenses so that you can run your business from this org. This is what we will be using later on because you will collect leads coming from the AppExchange. You will be able to do your licensing. Your salespeople will be there. Your support will be there because, yes, I'm afraid this is built by humans, so you will have to have a support team to support your application and your customer.
Absolutely.
Say it again? This is all the power of the platform. Then you will build your own approval processes if this is what you want. But
when you sign up to the partner community, there's an approval process on who you are, but it's an automated process.
Yes.
So once I click here to get a new username, because I don't have an existing org, you can take the other flow if you do, but you fill out this very simple form, and what's really crucial about this section is this username just on the bottom right here. Yeah. Although Salesforce orgs take the form of an email address, they're obviously not email addresses. They are usernames that follow the same structure, but it's critical that you differentiate your email address from your different usernames. And for the PBO, we generally take a stance on a naming convention. Like mine would be kreese at salesforce.appexchange or .appex or .pbo maybe. But
Whatever.
We take a stance to change and differentiate our username so we don't get confused because you will get a few different types of orgs when you're building apps with AppExchange.
Absolutely.
Fair to say?
Yeah.
Super. So let's abandon this flow here because we don't need to do this.
Yes.
And let's go start by logging into the partner community, shall we?
Yes, please. So we're going to use our credential in order to get access to the partner business org.
You can follow the shortcut of p.force.com.
Yeah. So this is your login.
This is my login. I'll tell you what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make sure that we'll see what org I get. Oh, here we are.
Yeah.
So the partner business org that I've received in the past, I gave it a slightly different naming convention. I called it the partner community.org. So first of all, we'll log in.
Yes.
Wi-Fi is good. So where are we going from here, Mark, when this logs in?
So I'm just going to wait for the screen first to move from white to something else.
I shouldn't have said anything, should I? There we are.
Good. So we're in. So first thing first is collaboration. So this is where you, as an ISV, can engage with our community, okay? Because like Kevin and myself are based in EMEA, but we support you wherever you are. And for that, we have a community. Typically, we will recommend you to join this group because this group is full of resources. It's not only us driving these resources, but it's also other partners like you that face the same problems, that have experiences, and that can help you answer lots of the questions. This is also where we're doing lots of our communications, so that I really recommend you to join this community to be fully aligned with us.
Okay. There's also a second group we should know, which is alerts for partners. So there's a second group in the collaboration piece, which is how we push out notifications and alerts to you, the partners, on upcoming releases. It might be periods in which you can get an early access org, or it might be a change in how we're going to approach some technology or a security feature. So keep an eye out for that group as well.
So without going into each tab, just like there is education so that you can learn a lot. There is also news and event. This is for you to be aware of what's going on. Support, as I mentioned, you may also have problem with us because we also have humans that are building software. So you will be able to create your cases from there so that it goes with our support. Businesses, publishing is something that we will go after, especially the publishing.
Okay, but first of all, shall we log in the partner business org?
Yes, that would be quite nice so that we start to do what we are supposed to do. So again, the partner business org, also known as PBO, because we're kind of like lazy, and on top of that, so that helps a lot, is the way where you have to start a huge amount of things. The first thing is, and this is like the second part of the demonstration, we're going to create a package. So first thing first is we need to log into the PBO. Why do we need to log into the PBO, Kevin?
Well, Mark, it's an interesting question. And the answer to this is we're going to start looking at something called second-generation packaging. And Salesforce created this whole process called Salesforce DX, the developer experience, where we can start to work in teams. Now, I was an ISV before I joined Salesforce, so I know the dark side of Salesforce of trying to do team development without DX. And I'm very pleased to say it's a whole new world today. And the crucial point to setting up your PBO for this experience is in somewhere called the Dev Hub. Which I clearly can't spell.
Yeah, Dev Hub.
So inside the Dev Hub, this is where you control your developer experience. And the things that you need to think about in here is A, is to enable this Dev Hub. This is crucial for being able to use Salesforce DX and Scratch orgs. The second thing is the unlocked and second generation managed packages. So this is the new mechanism in which you will distribute your apps with AppExchange, taking away from this approach of an org-based monolithic package to repository-based smaller feature packages. So we've got to go ahead and enable the second generation packaging here. And there's a sneaky new little feature at the bottom, which is how you get access to the Einstein features within inside your Scratch org. So if you want to use an Einstein bot, then you've got to come and enable these Einstein features here. So keep those in mind for when you're setting up your PBO.
Okay, good. So where do we go next?
Should we go to the CLI? Super. Go to the geek bits. So beware, it gets all geeky here. We're inside the Salesforce DX CLI, so the command line interface. And we've made the assumption that, I'm not going to show you how to set this up, but you can install the CLI in many different ways. And to check that you've got it installed, just type the command sfdx and we'll tell you which version of the CLI you've currently got installed. And there's some great tips on getting started with the CLI. But I think the first thing we're going to do is create a Scratch org.
That would be quite nice. But maybe explain why we need a Scratch org?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, when we think about how Salesforce development used to be, we used to have developer orgs. Mark and I would log in the same developer org. And we would stay in that developer org probably for a full release. Or in worst cases, forever. And we would use that as a single development environment, which is obviously not what we recommend today. So Scratch orgs are meant to be ephemeral orgs that last up to 7 days. So you do some development at the beginning of the day. You push all your metadata in, you develop your new feature. By the end of the day, you pull that metadata, store it into your repository, and kill that org, knowing that you can replicate very quickly starting development the next day or within that week. So Scratch orgs are the place in which we do all of our development now. And I happen to have, incidentally, some metadata already in this repository.
Oh, that's good.
So let's go ahead and start create an org. So we're in the Force org section. And within inside Force org, we can do Force org create. And something you should get used to with using Salesforce DX is this -h parameter, which is going to give you the help on each one of these commands. In this case, for creating a Scratch org, there's many options. Okay. Now, I've already set this up. I've already set up my namespace. So I'm going to follow a very standard path here and just do sfdx force org create. I'm going to give it a config file. Okay, so the config file that it's going to base its definition on. I'm going to use -s, which says this is the default Scratch org. And then finally, -a, which is the alias of this org. What should we call this?
Dev? Dev. Yeah,
I'm super simple.
Completely crazy.
Literal naming. What this is going to do now, this is going to give us a command back to Salesforce and say, go ahead and create me a Scratch org in the sandbox environment that I can use for the next 7 days and register it against the dev hub that I'm logged into.
Okay.
My hope is it would have come back by now, but we'll see. You know, the wait for these things. It is Dreamforce. Everyone is killing the Wi-Fi. Fingers crossed.
Hmm.
It's going to be very short.
Are you still connected to the Wi-Fi? It's a very good...
I'm definitely connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay, good. Let's see. We may ask you to... No.
The U comes later.
It's after that.
So this is setting the alias of the org. When you use the U parameter, it's meant to represent the username, which is either the alias or the full test.test username that we generate you with Salesforce DX. This is just an internet issue.
Okay. So...
Backup plan.
We have no backup plan.
We do. We always have a backup plan. I guess there's a lot of benefit in terms of if you've ever done development in a dev org and you're sharing it with multiple people, you can get into this situation where you're overriding each other's changes, or you do this team where you get 2 people in one org and 2 people in another dev org, and you get to this awful situation of merging your metadata. And most tools don't deal well with merging XML. Okay? Things like profiles were always a massive mess, because you could never quite merge the XML in the right style. So you get to the situation where your profiles weren't exactly created. So in the Scratch org, you get to control how you deploy that metadata, pull that metadata in a very simple fashion, and then that merging takes place in Git in your repository, where it's got a little bit more in-depth on merging files and dealing with that process. But also it gives you a better release environment. So you can take your mainline branches in Git, and you can create feature branches. Each developer can have their own feature branch, and you can merge back down to the main line in a very controlled release fashion, as opposed to dump every bit of metadata into an org, build a massive package, and then release it and hope it works. Gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of that.
Yeah, I think...
So let's swap to some 4G, shall we?
Yeah. Also, what is quite interesting with Scratch orgs is that you can do lots of automation, because you've got the CLI, so lots of things that you wouldn't be able to do were now suddenly available to you through Jenkins processes and all those things, so that you can really fully automate. Another aspect that I found out quite difficult in the past was testing. Typically, when you do testing, you have to import data. So importing data in a dev org is a kind of like a challenging way, because you typically will need to leverage lots of technology. But now the Scratch org has something very similar. So you can literally import data from a JSON file in one click. It's really designed for that. Also, something that I've seen through experiences is that in the past, a huge amount of our partners were having to clean up orgs, because they take a huge amount of time to configure that org for development process or Q&A processes. And then after that, all that is really annoying to be done every day, every week, and so on. So lots of them have created processes to clean up everything. With Scratch orgs, you can template your Scratch orgs so that you can really do it once forever, and then it's kind of like boom, 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 so to speak, if we have internet access. Then you can create a Scratch orgs, you give it to your developer. It can be a good developer, it can be a bad developer. It can literally do something, just extract the data, go away. And from a DevOps perspective, this is a real big advantageous. So
okay,
definitely.
Speaking of boom, 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 we are finally, thanks to 4G, back online. So we're inside our Scratch org. I'm about 4 minutes behind now, so we're gonna have to speed this up a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's just swap back to here. I've got a bunch of metadata inside this repository. If I just hit the tree, you can see I've got some objects, some layouts, some profiles, all that wonderful, great stuff. So we're going to do an SFDX force source push. So I'm going to push all of this new metadata into my Scratch org. And this is going to grab all of the metadata in this repository, and it's going to throw it up to the metadata API and deploy it to my Scratch org very quickly.
Hopefully. And this is again for you. This is another good way to just push data. Just like one-line command. You can automate that. You can really set up environment.
So what's the object we created, Mark? What's the most important thing about Dreamforce?
Dreamforce is all about learning, but I think it's all about partying. So do we have a party with one T that should be okay?
Oh,
I told you he has a very strange English accent or American accent, but even typing is complex. Party.
Party.
Yeah.
This is why it's not working, you see. Too many drinks. So, and my resolution down this tiny screen down here isn't exactly great. So we've got this party object, which we know developing on Salesforce, the object is key. Inside this object, we have a couple of fields. We have where these parties are going to be, what's the name, when they are. We've got the headliners. Headliners, Mark.
Yep.
Okay. So what else should we add here? What other fields should we add here? Number of free drinks?
Yeah, that would be quite nice.
Drinks.
Or number of drinks you've been having. But let's go for free drinks first.
Let's see if infinity's in this list. Let's pick a number.
That will be quite nice.
Number's super easy.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's call this free drinks.
I think I love the length. This 18 characters.
Spelled wrong as well, but that's okay. I mean, I can't quite see
drinks.
that screen from here. Who needs to see when you're doing these demos?
No decimals, that's okay.
Okay, yeah, let's just go for that. Let's take the defaults and click through this pretty quickly. Let's add this field on. Let's finish this up pretty quick. Let's accept the defaults. I mean, I wouldn't do this in production, but you know, it's just a demo. We can throw it away. It's totally cool. So we've got our new field in here, number of drinks. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull that metadata down. So we did the force source push before. We're going to do the pull. And we're going to grab that metadata down, and we'll figure out in scratch.org, it keeps a track of the delta, it keeps track of what changes you made and the differences. So hopefully this is a pretty short list on the profile, the list view, and that new custom field. I mean, not to give away what's coming, but okay.
There we go.
Now, we've got a package already built. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new version with this new metadata. We're going to do this pretty quickly because they say we're running out of time here.
Yes.
So with second generation managed packages, this could all be done from the CLI. So if I do sfdx force package list, so I can go ahead and take a look at the packages I have created within inside the CLI, within inside second generation packages.
It's been working.
Here, I've got a Dreamforce Party 1. I'm just going to grab this ID because that's going to be pretty crucial for us in a moment. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at the versions of this package. So again, we'll do version list. And we'll use the parameter -p because we want to narrow it down just to this managed package.
Yeah.
So here's a few versions, Mark. Here's a few versions that we diligently created during testing because every good TE should do this. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new version of this package, Mark. Now,
version create.
You love to version things.
Yep.
You're the responsible one for going from 0.1
remove the B
to
from
2.2.
create. Yeah. So one of the advantage of second generation packages is that you control your version numbers really like the way you want. So you can be crazy. I love to be crazy. That's why we moved from 0.1 to 2.12. Why not? That was like my point.
Yeah, I mean, you are a little bit crazy with this, so let's go ahead and do it. We'll do -a, will give us the name, the alias of this version. So it's what? So version what?
Version, I don't know, 1?
Version 1? We can't go backwards. Let's go.
We can go back.
3.
So let's go 3.1 or 2. Yeah, version 3.2, that's the name.
And then let's do the actual version number. So let's do 3.2.0.0.
Yep.
And remove that extra dot. So we need a few more parameters here. We need to make sure we've got some code coverage. We can't release it without code coverage checks. We should do C. We're going to use X because we're not going to give it an install key. We don't want to force our users to install an install key. And then finally, we're going to do which version of the managed package we're going to use. And we're going to go ahead and hit that and hope that we do this again pretty swiftly.
So in short, we're just like creating a new version because we've been adding this free drinks and just packaging that automatically. And here we go.
This is an asynchronous process. I'm going to show you this once.
Sorry? So yeah, it is a managed package. We created before as a managed package, but we show you that not only you need to create new version, but you need also to release those versions so that you can really expose them to the AppExchange.
So, sorry, I hit the command back. We're going to go back to that version list, and we should hopefully see maybe a new version of that list. No, so we're still building the version of this managed package here. It's an asynchronous process. It's checking the validity of the metadata. It's checking that it can be installed. It's not taking away functionality that would stop this org being installed.
So I suggest, really running out of time, that we switch to the next element, which is kind of like why the package has been creating. We're not going to wait. We're going to go into the listing. So we are back into the partner community. This time we're going to go into the publishing tab. And there is a couple of things that you need to do here. So same thing here. We've been already creating a listing. So the first time you go there, you will see there is a couple of processes that you have to go through. But let's click on the Brexit party.
I mean, we said party app, Mark, but I didn't think you were going to take the mick out of Brexit.
Well, I'm waiting for that now. Let's go.
Oh my.
So this is where you're going to land. Coming back to your question about approval, this is where, when you create the listing, we're going to ask you to justify why you want to do business with us and how. We are from the technical part, sorry, but we'll ask you a couple of questions. So once you've got this, when you click on the app, which is already done, on select packages, this is where you're going to be able to not only select your package, but also select the version that you want to do.
And let's see if it's there. I mean,
maybe by that time, the version will be there. But we have not released the version, so it won't be there.
Ah, good point, Mark. Sorry, that's my fault.
So let's close that because the internet is really bad. A couple of things that are interesting, and not especially because I'm French, but there is a couple of elements that you need to pay attention to, which is who is your target audience? Are you going to go after certain special editions? Are you going to support certain languages? Are you going to provide all those kind of information? Which features do you embrace? Like shared, are you supporting encryptions? That's the kind of thing you can declare here in the listing itself. Okay. So then there is also another thing that is quite interesting, which is the trial. So the success of Salesforce is coming because we authorize our customer to try the application that they want. We are providing you the exact same technology so that you can create a test drive, which is a read-only experience. So you can control everything. People can just kind of like, if they're shy, they don't want to install anything, at least they can test drive, click everywhere, try to destroy it. It's a read-only, so that should be OK. But you can also provide a real free trial, 30 days, so that they can try your application. And whenever they are OK to go, then you can convert them into a paid customer. So that's very interesting. And say again? So 30 days is our recommendation, because that's the way we operate, but we're quite flexible on time. Don't ask us for 2 years of trial, but we can do something between, let's say, 0 and 90 days. That's something we do understand. If you need more time, we need to understand why, because I will say we run the technology for you during all that time, so we just need to understand why. And leads, this is also something that is quite interesting and will certainly help us to finish our demonstration, certainly not on time. But this is where you're going to say that if someone is clicking on your listing, you want that information to be pushed onto the PBO. And then when you do this, then everything will be there automatically because we know how, which is the listing. We know whom, which is the end user that goes into the AppExchange. And then we know where to land that because this is where you define what it is. So while I'm saying that, we will not show you how to install an AppExchange package because that's quite click and go. That's the easiest one. What is quite interesting is once someone either click on your listing, there are many ways to ask for lead generation. But if they install, that will generate a lead. And that lead will provide you a couple of information about where it's coming from. Is it from the AppExchange? Because maybe you can also offer that solution on your own website. Maybe they click on a video first, and so on. So lots of information about this. And if they have installed the packages, then you will be able to get access to that through a dedicated object, which is licenses. So why don't you just click on the license tab, please?
Should we?
Yes, we should. And same thing. This is a license. So this is typically where you want to control a relationship with that customer. Maybe it's a prospect, that's a lead. Maybe it's going to move to paid. But for the time being, we're giving you some very important information. Which version they have installed, because you control the version. Also, how many licenses do you provide them, and how many licenses have been used by this current customer. And if you click on the little icon so that, yeah, this one, we can also Oh, I didn't see anything. Yeah, we have a modify license. So this is where, once you've done your deal, you're going to be dynamically changing the amount of licensing, and we will do the hard work, which is ensuring that the destination org will get exactly what you've been asking for. And the second, oops, come back. Second button is also about subscriber console, which is how you will be able to support your customer, because you may be a Salesforce customer and you know how support can get access to your org. We're providing you the exact same functionality so that your support team can log into that org, debug your own element, and help your customer.
Okay, so we are completely out of time. I've got to apologize for the interruption in the middle there. But I want to give you a couple of takeaways here. The first thing to start your journey is the partner community. We can do that at joinappexchange.com and follow the steps that we alluded to. And I think our new boss, Sarah Franklin, would kill me if I didn't say you should absolutely take the next step by joining Trailhead, the free interactive learning platform. Who uses Trailhead right now? Anybody? Super.
Good.
Who's a ranger? Wow. Okay. So you guys are masters. So I encourage everyone to start their trip, their journey of the road to ranger, and start to use the ISV technology that we have, all the trails and trail mixes to take you from a beginner to a complete advanced.
Can I, even if we are running out of time, what is quite interesting is that the Trailhead technology is coming to you, so you can build now your own trail so that your own customer can consume your own trail on your website. This is something that we're delivering also for ISV partners. So that's a kind of like very interesting element that you can leverage too.
Okay, and then the final point is the developer.salesforce.com, where you can get the really in-depth documentation around all of our components, features, functionality, but also the ISV Force guide, which is the guide for ISVs, is also hosted on the developer site. So we're out of time for questions, but Mark and I will stay here for the next 15 minutes.
Not really here, we will stay over there because we're going to have to leave soon.
And access. But I want to take this opportunity, even though we're out of time, to say thank you. I appreciate you joining our session this morning. There's a plethora of sessions, and you chose to spend some time with Mark and I. And one thing I want to leave you with is, again, these are some high-level numbers on what Woodson talked about yesterday in the Salesforce economy. We, between you guys, you are the living, breathing Salesforce economy, generating those 450 million jobs and that $1.2 trillion in GDP impact. It starts here. It starts with your journey with AppExchange. So thank you for joining us.
Yep,
thank you for being at Dreamforce. I've been Kevin. He's been Mark. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again.